It's time to get you lean. Lean for summer. Your summer body. This is Carnivore Diet 2.0. Carnivore Diet 2.0. I fixed every flaw in the carnivore diet, all right? Every flaw. All the flaws that are putting you in Stall City. Okay, the carnivore diet community needs a better hero. A real hero. Someone's going to get him lean. Okay, somebody that's not dogmatic to food choice. So you see it in the title. Okay, my Carnivore Diet 2.0 is a 1 meal a day diet because don't eat dinner and a day. 1 meal a day diet, counting calories. Because that's all this is about, is the calorie count. 1 meal a day, counting the calories. 1 meal a day, counting the calories. Now, what do I eat in a day? How do I set it up? What do I eat? The fatter you are, the less the macros matter. As long as the calorie count is low enough that you're getting a weight loss result. The fatter you are, the less the macros matter. So in layman's terms, what am I saying? Eat whatever the hell you want. You can eat whatever the hell you want as long as the calories are low enough. You can change it up every night. As long as the calories are low enough to lose weight. You can eat whatever the hell you want. Now, once you get to a point, sooner or later, you're going to start to get lean. Okay, now, you fat, remember, you're fat. So what's going to happen? You're going to be fasting all day. You're going to be fasting all day, getting in your snake juice, electrolyte salts, what you need, because your calories are going to be rock bottom on OMAD. You're fasting all day. The first mistake you don't want to make is thinking you got to hit your calories at night. You just eat and then you're done. Okay, my best recommendation is to get used to OMAD. Just to get used to OMAD. Okay, before you even start getting really crazy with the calorie counting, is just eat whatever the hell you want for a few days. Just fast all day, push the fast, and eat whatever the hell you want. Don't even count the calories for a few days. Just get used to the routine. Trust me, you're not going to be gaining weight on OMAD, you fat, compared to where you're at right now. The calories are going to probably still put you in a deficit when you're still losing weight on the week. Eat whatever the hell you want. I gave a guy that I met today at the gym this exact advice. Because his buddy, who's my buddy, who I've got like literally 15 pounds off this guy, and I mean a hard 15. This guy's 6'3", and I got him from 195 down to 180 in just a few weeks doing this exact thing. Okay, and his other buddy's big, and he wants to do the same thing, and I told him, just get used to the OMAD first. Because fat people don't need to eat shit during the day. You're just opening the floodgates to eat more. Okay, get in some salt in the morning, some steak juice, salt, some hot water, 0-calorie drinks all day. Done. Done. Then you start to tighten it up with the calorie counting. Okay, especially at the start, a lot of you I say, if you just go into OMAD, eating whatever, you're going to be losing weight. Eating whatever. A lot of you people, okay, Carnivore 2.0. Okay, you eat whatever the hell you want when you're super fat, as long as that weight's going down. OMAD's part of the protocol. 1 meal a day, fat. 1 meal a day. All right, so you've done that. So you're super fat, you're getting used to OMAD. Then you start to play with the calorie count. You start to play. You take a look at what your food looks like. You're looking at the scale. Okay, you're weighing yourself. So the fatter you are, the macros don't mean shit. What counts the most is the calorie count. Okay? What counts the most is the calorie count. You're going to learn as you go what's going to allow you to pull the calories even lower the leaner you get. Because your BMR is going to drop as you lose weight. Your metabolism's good. It's your BMR drops because you're losing size. Okay, your BMR drops when you lose weight, period. Your BMR goes down because you're not as big. It takes less energy to heat up your disgusting fat body. Now, you're settling into your meal a day. Now you're getting to be a better dieter. You start looking at the foods. You start to clean it up. You start to maybe, once you start getting lean, the protein's going to matter. Okay, here's where your carnivore diet comes in. Let's go to the extreme end. Let's say you're trying to get ripped. 8% body fat, baby. 8% body fat by summer. Let's say you got 10 pounds to drop. Okay, maybe this is exactly my situation. All right? I'm giving you guys like the best free help here. If you do exactly what I say and you're trying to get lean, you're going to get ripped this summer. Ripped. Ripped. Because the sustainability and the enjoyability of eating like this is a joke. It's awesome. So what do? The leaner I get, the calories got to be low enough to get me to a certain body weight where I'm getting lean. Period. Okay, period. OMAD, excellent tool to pull the calories down. So we're doing that. We're not eating all day. Okay, we're not eating all day. All right? OMAD, perfect tool to pull the calories down. Now we got the meal. Water before the meal. Make sure you pretend it's almost a water drinking contest. A water drinking contest. So you're trying to, so you're super fat. Let's say you're 500 pounds. You just start with OMAD. Okay, OMAD, eat whatever the hell you want. Let's see what that does on the scale. Then start to clean it up. Start to clean it up. Okay, eventually it's like 500 pounds, 400 pounds, 300 pounds, 200 pounds. And you're a male that's like, let's say you're 6 feet tall. Okay, and now you're trying to go from 200 pounds like 175 or 180, get ripped. That's when so obviously the fatter is going to get a weight loss result on a higher calorie count just eating a loose 1 meal a day diet. Okay, now the calories will have to come down to sustain a lean body weight, period. Like it's across the board. If you're this weight, the calories are going to have to be down at a certain point. For me, for example, okay, 2,000 cal a day, 2,000 cal, maybe start pulling it down to 1,800. See what my weight does. Maybe add in a little bit of cardio. Obviously, it's not easy to get ripped, man. Especially if you're trying to hold on to every ounce of muscle. Okay, skinny and jacked and ripped are two different things. All right? What I do, the leaner I get, if I want to hold on to every ounce of muscle, the calories gotta come down. Or else I'm not going to be losing any body fat. The calorie count will dictate the weight loss, the fat loss. Now to hold the muscle, I crank the protein higher and higher and higher. Until there's a point where, okay, that's good enough. Okay, so literally what I do is I'm running a high protein, low calorie diet when I'm trying to get like the last 5 pounds off. And it's easy to restrict the calories like nothing on OMAD. It's easy. Carnivore diet 2.0, baby. Okay, I'm getting in protein. Okay, there's no diet dogma. For example, like, you know what I'm going to have tonight probably? I'll probably end up getting in the protein. Okay, I'm cutting weight pretty quick here. I'll probably have the protein cranked up, or literally I have a calorie count I'm going to hit. I'll go to the grocery store, hit a calorie count that's somewhere under 2 grams. Of those calories, I'm going to make sure that protein is like up there, like 106, 200 grams of protein. I'll just 200 grams of protein. Now, the proteins I like to go with are lean. Why do I not want protein sources? Because then I can use my fat grams, because I still got to keep the calories low enough to keep cutting body fat. I can use the fat grams for some junk. Chocolate bars, cookies, Carnivore 2.0, baby. Okay, here's the thing. You're going to get 20 times better weight loss result eating like this. Period. Okay, because the adherence is so high. You lose all the diet dogma. You're still eating meat. Okay, you're still a carnivore. You're still eating meat. The calories are actually at a point where you're going to lose some weight. Easy peasy, Japanesey. Okay, you know how easy this is? Like, man, I can run the calories so low on OMAD. And especially like I say, let's just pretend for me to get to 8% body fat, let's even say, man, I say 8 because I can pretty easily hold on to 8% body fat in the past. Okay? I'm not going to lie to you. This is like the best dieting strategy I've ever done. Because anytime I was pulling calories down on OMAD and tracking it, I was still dogmatic to some food choices. Okay, I was still dogmatic to some food choices. The way you do it is when, say the calories, if they got to be like 1,800 for me to really get ripped. Okay, or never know. Summertime's coming, bike ride season. You know, I might end up biking 600 calories a day. I look at the scale, if I'm losing weight too much, or you can see it, it's like, okay, I gotta eat more, which is a good problem to have. But what I do, if the calories, let's say the calories had to be like 1,800 on OMAD for me. Okay, and you remember when I'm talking that kind of food volume? Okay, when I'm talking that kind of food volume, you don't go forcing in what I'm telling you that I'm eating. Okay? And not to mention, once you're lean, if you can't get enough in to maintain where you're like literally turning into a skeleton, then you'd have to open up that eating window. You're always going to be better off fasting as far into the day as you can. That's a good problem to have. Okay, you're OMAD, you might be full on like 600. You don't eat more. You're fatter now. You're fatter now. Okay, for me to knock back 1,800 calories in basically a sitting-ish isn't a big deal. But there's going to be guys that'll get slim, and it's just, you don't need to ever feel discomfort. Okay, OMAD is a way to pull the calories down when you're trying to lose weight. But at the same time, if you start getting stupid lean, and you're fasting till 5 p.m. or some shit, and there's no way, you don't force in all the calories you're going to need, because now you need to hit the calorie count to maintain. So you put the brakes on the weight loss. Then you just open it up or eat twice. Like, that's a good problem to have. Okay, it's not even part of the conversation. Okay? But let's say for me, I need to be under 1,800 to be like Shred City. The way I do it, the lower the calories go, I'll make sure the protein's cranked. And I'll make up the rest of the calories eating whatever the hell I want. For example, an example would be like, okay, let's say I keep it leaner meat, because then I'm not wasting my fat on the meat sources. Okay? Biggest mistake on the current Carnivore MD coaching. High-fat diet, stupid. Essentially, why would you have the fat in the meat when I could throw the fat into like a chocolate bar, or like literally have something that's actually like tasty, like a dessert? Okay, hit my protein count that I need to keep the muscle on, and eat whatever the hell you want. Eat whatever the hell you want. Okay, the protein, so even, I'll bring up a story there. I took a call with a girl yesterday who used to compete in bikini. And it was actually funny. She got down, she was like, on stage, like 113 pounds. And her coach, I started asking her some questions, and her coach had her on X amount of calories, X amount of protein, and the coach didn't, maybe they did, but she didn't do it if they did tell her. She ended up bucking that food into OMAD. Okay, I've told the bikini competitors this for years. Because once you get the calories down there like that, you know how easy it is to run the calories low on a meal-a-day diet when you're trying to get shredded? So this girl, for example, her macros might have been at 5'3", like 113 pounds ripped. Okay, like we're talking a 1,200 calorie day diet. Okay, keeping the protein like up there, like probably 120 gram, 140. Okay, and the rest of the calories from whatever the hell you want. So when the protein's 4 calories a gram, that's why if you go with leaner protein sources, you're not wasting all your calories on meat. Okay, Carnivore Diet 2.0. But if you want to have a chunk of meat once in a while, go ahead. Just understand that the fat grams you're throwing on that meat is stuff you could have had in some chocolate. Especially if you're a woman on your rag. Okay, you know how many women crave chocolate on their rag? Okay, perfect. Throw it in. Just keep the meat leaner so you can have your chocolate, which is fat. 1 meal a day. Calorie counting. Super. Just the habit of the 1 meal a day diet to start is excellent to get that like just scarred into your head. and see what the scale does, and then you just tighten it up, tighten it up, tighten it up, tighten it up. And obviously, if you're trying to get really lean, packaged and canned goods work great. Once you hit your goal, you can play where if your calorie count gets a little off, you'll see it right away. You might gain a pound over the week. You'll be like, oh, I can't do that. Very simple. There's not one person that's stalled in that carnivore diet. Hey, man, no one's getting as lean as, man, nobody that's listening to Anthony Chafee, Ken Dad Bod Barry, Sean Dad Bod Baker are going to get the results I'm going to get with Carnivore 2.0, 1 meal a day calorie count. To give me a break. Give me a break. You know how easy it is for a woman? Plus that girl I'm just talking about, she didn't even lose her period when she was getting on stage. As a natural, no drugs. OMAD, there's benefits to a meal a day when you're trying to get ripped. Okay, it keeps you hormonally happy at a very low calorie count. As long as the protein is meeting a minimum. And for most of you, you just intuitively eat that. So I'll go to the grocery store tonight. It just works good for me the way I train. Okay, if I'm like up there, like well over a gram per pound of ripped body weight, and get low fat protein sources, and then fill up the rest of my calories with whatever the fuck I want. Twinkies, chocolate. Get some vegetables in there for some fiber. Okay, this is how I'm fixing all the mistakes with the carnivore diet. Carnivore diet 2.0 fixes all the stupid diet dogma that's keeping you stalled out. The diet dogma being vegetables are trying to kill you. Dumbest thing you can do when you're trying to get ripped is pull vegetables out. Pull all that out of your diet. It's nuts. You just screw the sustainability completely. Okay, you screw up your gut biome. Okay, a lot of these guys will have you do some 30-day or 60-day meat-only. Okay, you're going to destroy your gut biome. Then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now you can't digest. It's like, oh, it's going to be the vegetables now that you destroyed your gut biome on 30 to 60 days on only meat. Okay, this is the thing. So vegetables are trying to kill you, they say, which are one of the best things to get shredded. Okay, meat is crazy high calorie. That's a huge screw up. Okay, because calories are everything when it comes to leaning out and getting ripped. Weight loss. Okay, you don't need the fat in the diet. Okay, all that fat, your calories are ramped up. That's why you're Stall City. Stall City. Man, I'm excited. Okay, I am excited, man. Like, especially, that mindset where you're just basically hitting a protein count. The leaner you get, you got to ramp that protein up. And then you just eat whatever the hell you want to make up the rest of the calories. Easy to count the calories. And if you're serious about getting ripped, you're going to count the calories. No one's getting ripped without counting calories while maintaining maximum muscle mass. Maximum muscle mass. Okay, which does matter. To a point, you don't got to be a big roid head, juiced up juice monkey. But you also don't want to be skin and bone, bragging that you're lean and you're just weak. Weak sauce. It's all a calorie game. That's why OMAD is so good, because it works to pull the calories. There's no magic. There's no magic. Okay, no magic that we need to bring up into the discussion anyway. Okay, well, maybe there's things you can bring up that go with inflammation and who knows what. Teeth health is one. The less often you eat in the day, the better your teeth are going to be. Less often you eat, the better your teeth health is going to be. Okay, carnivore diet 2.0, baby. 1 meal a day, counting calories. Like I said, to start it off, just focus on getting that meal a day down pat. And do not force feed in that meal, ever. That should never happen, ever. Even me, if I feel that, honestly, even the last 3 days, I haven't been doing like a meal in the sitting because I'm getting leaner and I got to still hit a decent amount of food because I don't want to lose weight too fast at my weight. But you fat, okay, take every advantage of OMAD. Okay, you want fast weight loss, like you want weight loss, like right now. So if OMAD allows you to eat like 800 cal, 500 cal, especially like that video I talked about people that are on weight loss drugs. Okay, by the way, I wasn't promoting weight loss drugs. I was saying with the way you should eat if you're on them. So you develop a habit. So then when you come off them, you don't just gain the weight back. Ozempic rebound. Same if you have weight loss surgery. You take advantage of that surgery now because a lot of you didn't lose nothing after getting weight loss surgery because you're eating all day long. You're not eating heavy in the window either. A lot of women, especially women, don't even eat a lot of food in the sitting at all. They're just eating all day long from morning to night. I know. Okay, I know. I know the stories. I talk to these people. So if you've had weight loss surgery, 1 meal a day is perfect. And what's going to end up happening, it's almost going to be like a fast for some of these people because they're going to be eating like 500 calories and they're going to be good to go. Go to bed. You're good. You're good. There's nothing wrong with going to bed on a 500 calorie day. I got to watch that. My channel's probably getting screwed anyway. There's nothing wrong with going to bed on a 500 calorie day. Why would you force more in? Okay, then you're treating it, it's almost similar to just doing a straight up snake juice fast. Okay? Straight up snake juice fasting, 0 calories. Calories matter. That's why 0 calorie snake juice fasting knocks weight off so quick. But if you're going to do any long fast, that's just 0 calories, nothing to coach. Just get in the salts. Okay, but you need to have this diet in place first. You actually honestly have no business even engaging in a long fast. And that should essentially be to the point where it just comes almost naturally where you're so fat that you're going to eat your meal on OMAD that night and you get busy and you come home and you're like, you're not even hungry and you just go to bed and you just wait till the next night to eat something. Okay? It just happens organically. Carnivore diet 2.0, baby. The carnivore diet community needs a higher class of coach, which is me. Okay, no dogma. You know what's actually funny? Back in the day, do you guys remember that 0 carb carnivore diet nonsense? People were adding all the honey and shit because they're so dogmatic. They're like, oh, as long as it's coming from bees, it's still carnivore. So at that moment, did they give a rat's ass about the sugar? No. Okay, you might as well have just been eating like a chocolate bar then. But the honey's so great. Give me a break. How many people were adding honey to their 0 carb diet, which made it high carb, high calorie, because now you still got the meat with a whack of honey. And you weren't counting shit. And the results are dog mediocrity at best. Mediocre at best. You take my advice on this video, I'm telling you right now. You take my advice, especially if you only have like 20 pounds to drop and you're trying to get ripped. The fatter people, obviously, they're not going to get ripped for summer if they weigh like 400 pounds, all right? Okay, but they're going to be losing weight like mad. Okay, but the people, my detailed information here that applies to the people that are trying to lose like the last 10 pounds, where the lower the calories are going to be getting, where you really got to play. If you are eating a meal a day, which is a joke, okay, and you're getting in snake juice salts to keep those electrolytes up, because you're going to be dropping salt like a bat, because the calories are low and you're getting lean. If you take my advice and you're drinking lots of water, getting good amounts of salt, prioritize the protein, especially when you're getting really lean, and if you're doing any sort of resistance training, I'm talking big protein numbers. Okay, play like they can get the protein numbers could get you use intuition there. You go by feel. But they're going to be up there when you're trying to get really lean. Because that is the only way you're going to hold on to maximum muscle. And it's the protein being high with some simple sugars, and the other you're filling up the calories with is like the perfect diet. The satiation factor is insane. Okay, like my protein count, I play, like I say, like I'll probably try basically playing around with hitting from the animal protein sources, like my goal weight-ish. I use the mirror when I start getting down there. Whatever I weigh, I end up weighing. Anywhere from 160 to 165, depends how much muscle. Like I'm literally putting on strength and muscle on this cut right now. You can't do that on something that's crazy low protein. It's impossible. It's impossible. Okay, but you super fatties. Now, if you're a super fatty that wants to like go pump iron and shit, then you're going to have to accept a slower weight loss result that's still going to be fast as hell. Like if you're on my exact cutting routine on like 1,800 to 2,000 calorie a day, and the protein's up there, and you're a big dude at like, you know, you can run the protein, you're not even going to want to eat that much. But then you got to get some protein in if you're pumping the iron because you're not going to recover from that kind of training. It's not like running and biking. Okay, but that's your choice. If I was super fit, I just want to get weight off as fast as I possibly can. So the goal there is how can I eat as little calories as humanly possible? How can I eat as little calories as humanly possible? Meal a day, and then obviously whatever you can hold on to. As little calories while still sustaining it. So it could be like a chunk of lean meat and a can of peas and carrots and a Snickers bar. So what would that add up to? Like, you know, like 800, 900 a day, every day? Okay, it's all a calorie game for how fast you want to cut the weight. But you still got to hold on to that low calorie count if you're getting that aggressive. And if you start to do a bunch of resistance training, trying to run a crazy low calorie diet, if you're fat, you're not going to recover from the resistance training. It's going to make you want to eat more as well. Okay, but if you want to go that road and you're like, okay, I'm 300 pounds, I think that going to the gym is going to be way better for my environment because all the environmental issues keep you off the stupid smartphone if you leave it out of your life and go to the gym for a couple hours. Hang out in there, do a little weight training, maybe do a little walking and shit. Then pump the protein up, but you got to keep the calories down. End of the day, what you're trying to chase here to go from the fattest to your best version is it's going to look like a low-calorie, high-protein diet. And when I say low-calorie, it's going to be a calorie count that elicits and maintains your lean body that you're at with whatever activity you're doing. And a protein count that allows you to recover and hold on to muscle based on the kind of training you're doing. Okay, which can be a range. Okay, for me specifically, we're talking probably depends on, like 2,000 calories, maybe even 1,800. And going by feel depends on the body weight calisthenics I'm doing and shit. 160 gram of protein to maybe as high as even 220. So even on a really high day, like 200 for me, that's over a gram per pound of ripped body weight for me. Over a gram per pound of ripped body weight. Way over. Okay, that's still protein count, 200 grams of protein is 800 calories. 800. So if I go with really lean protein sources, I still got 1,200 calories I can just fill up with anything. I know how to do that with like, say, some lean fish, some shrimp. Okay, maybe play around some zero-fat Greek yogurt. I don't personally like to get too crazy filling up too many protein calories with the dairy. Depends how I feel. If you don't want to get gassed up, but if you're eating a meal a day at night, it doesn't even matter anyway. But if I can do 800 calories of lean protein and my upper limit on the calorie count I'm trying to get ripped is like, let's say it gets as low as 1,800. I'm going to get shredded if I hold on to 1,800. That allows me 1,000 calories of whatever the hell I want. Whatever the hell I want. OMAD calorie counting, baby. Carnivore 2.0. Carnivore diet 2.0. Okay, I'm going to steal that carnivore diet name right under their noses, man. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. I'm like the Ray Kroc of the diet industry. It's just like how Ray Kroc stole McDonald's name. Yeah, they had their speedy system. Just like how carnivore dieters have animal protein. So what? That's like the speedy system, but I'm Ray Kroc, where he literally turned just a situation, like their mediocre into like basically a real estate company worth billions of dollars. Okay, I'm gonna Ray Kroc there. Okay, give me a break. Nobody know, like how many people that are actually listening to these carnivore MDs, if they come start to see my because I'm stealing that name, and they're listening to this, and they're like, this guy's right. Okay, we can still eat meat. We're not vegans. Okay, which I know nothing wrong with the vegans. Okay, if they're hitting their protein counts, it's gonna be the same. It all depends on what they're doing. Okay, you can be a vegan and hit a protein count and have your carbs and keep the calories low. Okay, but that's still a food choice restriction. There's no food choice restriction, man. Okay, like tonight I'll eat a little bit of everything you could think of. I might even I'll get lean animal protein. Okay, I'll get maybe some lean dairy protein. So now there's dairy and animal protein. I'll get a chocolate bar. Okay, that's got seed oil in it. Okay, I'll get some canned vegetables. Okay, I'll have every single thing, every single possible food choice in my meal tonight. Everything you think is bad, everything you think is good. Because all that matters is the calories and the protein count when you start getting ripped. Easy money, baby. Okay, I'm going to get you guys ripped. Ripped. Now, for a lot of you men, if you're a fat man, you're going to be able to yard those calories way down with like no hunger. No hunger. And if you want more of those calories to be from protein, so be it. Okay, so be it, fine. So say if you're a fat dude and you're like feeling pretty good on a grand a day. Perfect. If you had $1,000 a day and you're even getting in, because now, like I said, because you're so fat, the protein can be way lower, especially if you're not doing anti-resistance training, which most of you aren't. Okay, most of you aren't. Okay, you can literally be at $1,000 a day and be at 100 grams of protein, which is only 400 calories. You can still be hitting 100 grams of protein, which is actually, a lot of people argue that that's plenty. Man, there's guys that are eating less than that depending how they train. Okay, then they can recover from it. And you're super fat. There's lean guys that eat that much. Okay, the Twinkie diet guy was eating 100 grams of protein when he did that cut in 2010. Okay, he did it on 100 grams of protein, can of vegetables, Twinkies and cookies. 1,800 calories got him down to 173 pounds. And 6'1", starting weight was 205. Okay, so me, I train a little different than Twinkie diet guy. Okay, me, I need a little more protein than Twinkie diet guy. But the calorie count he had was bang on, 18. Okay, but you super fat man, you could, if you want to do this the slower game, you can eat my 1,800. You're going to lose weight way faster than me on 1,800 because you're fatter than hell and you have IBMR. Especially if you're doing some walking, because your walking is almost like intense squatting. Okay? So you can do my exact diet, which I'll be showing people. I just told you the macros. Okay, I'll be chewing around 1,800 to 2,000 calories to measure accurately, packaged goods, 160 to 200 grams of protein, and I just go by feel, and the rest of the calories I just fill up with a bunch of whatever the hell I want. Whatever the hell I want. There's a guy that you guys probably haven't heard of, and I'll shout him out. And he pretty much, his name was Martin Burkhan. Okay, he was the lean gains guy back. He was like, man, he was really blowing up back in like probably 2012 or 13 or something. And this guy was strong. He really promoted minimalist type training, but he was super strong and he was lean. And what he would do, he would intermittent fast. He would count his calories. And of those calories, this guy was way up there on the protein. He'd be like 50% of his calories of protein at maintenance. So let's say that's a lot. Okay, that's a lot. But he was a model. Okay, he was a model. And I know well he was drug-free by, he was strong, but you know well he's drug-free by the numbers he hit on the lifts. But he was still like a 600-pound deadlifter. And not that these big compounds matter, but they matter when you're just looking at a guy how lean he is in strength. He was like a 600-pound deadlifter ripped in a 350-pound bencher. The 350-pound bench is how I know he wasn't on gear. Okay, because I've benched more than that in competition at a lot less body weight than him. With obviously like tight form that I'd use in competition. Anyway, he'd intermittent fast to keep the calories down. And then he would count the calories and he would hit a protein count for him that he thought was good. And then he would just fill the rest of the calories up with whatever the hell he wanted. Whatever the hell he wanted. Okay, another guy, obviously, you know, like, there's other guys, like, for example, like, when you're getting ridiculous, trying to get ridiculous lean for, like, a bodybuilding show, there's guys like Lyle McDonald who would, you know, people would just eat basically pure protein and vegetables. But the vegetables are still there. Okay, but we're talking about a lifestyle that you're lean and it's enjoyable. Okay? And the only reason you'd pull the fat, the only reason you'd pull the fat and the carbs right out is because you're trying to drive the calories through the floor. And you're just eating pure protein obviously at whatever risk there is to bowel movements and shit to get on stage for like, you know, 2 hours to win a bodybuilding show. Okay, chicken breast, tilapia, broccoli. All right? OMAD, intermittent fasting, calorie counting, hitting a protein count when you're getting lean that you know, you go by feel, that you know is going to be good, filling the rest of the calories up with whatever the hell you want. That's Carnivore Diet 2.0. That's Carnivore Diet 2.0. Okay, and I might even change the name to Cole's Diet down the road. Or something different. Once I get all the carnivore community on point and get weight off them. Amongst everybody else. All right, so for men, a good number, if you're trying to, like, I'd have to see how big you are and shit. But like 1,800 to 2 grand. The leaner you get, the protein's going to come up. It's going to come up. If you got more weight on you, the macros can be very loose. Very, very loose. All right? Like even Twinkie Diet guy, what he probably should have started doing, if he was actually doing some resistance training, he would have brought that protein up. Probably got up to like 200 gram of protein, somewhere around there. So his protein calories would have doubled. So instead of 400 calories with the protein, he would have been about 800 calories with the protein. And then he would have just filled that other 1,000 calories up with whatever the hell he wants, which he was already doing exactly that. But he was only hitting 100 gram of protein, which isn't a bad amount. Okay, that's all preference on how you exercise. Okay, but that protein will dictate your body composition, and especially if you like to do a lot of, like, if you're doing, how it all depends how you train. That's what's going to dictate the protein. Okay, but there's no doubt that other than potatoes at the top of the satiation list, everything below that is lean protein. So lean protein per calorie is very satiating. Meat is a joke. That'd be like a delicacy or a treat. None of the meat out in the bush is. Okay, if I'm going to get fat in, I'm going to get in some chocolate or some sort of a dessert. Something like this. I'm not going to waste my calories on meat fat. Okay, that'd be stupidity. Why would I do that? How that's going to destroy adherence. That's like, you know, when you get like ribeye, tomahawks. Okay, imagine, let's talk ribeye. So, Carnivore Diet 2.0. Okay, Carnivore Diet 2.0. A ribeye steak could be a delicacy you'd have once in a blue moon when you're lean. Carnivore 2.0, you're trying to get ripped counting calories. So imagine you take your ribeye. That's like literally what's a ribeye like? 300 calories per 100 grams? 300 calories per 100 grams and a pound. So 400 grams of ribeye is literally 1,200 calories-ish. Okay, 1,200 calories-ish, which is impossible to count it accurately because there's more fat and less fat on different ribeye steaks. roasts. Okay, so 1,200 calories, you're getting 100 grams of protein approximately on a ribeye that's 1,200 calories or 1,400 grams. 1,400 grams of ribeye, to clarify this, 1,400 grams of ribeye, 400 grams of ribeye is approximately 1,200 calories. And that ribeye is going to be approximately 100 grams of protein. So why would I eat that when I can have a leaner chunk of steak that's like, say, even gets down to like a lean cut of what, like round or something, is like sub 200 calories per 100 grams. So let's say to get the same amount of protein in from the round steak, let's pretend it's 200 calories per 100 grams. I'd only need to eat 800 calories worth of that versus 1,200. So now that's 400 calories. I could have had 400 calories with a chocolate. I could have had the round steak with 400 calories with a chocolate. Or even, man, you can throw a bag of Doritos in there for all I give a shit. Okay? Once you make the protein count on Carnivore Diet 2.0, this is when you're getting lean. Like again, I got to go back to the fats. The fats, the macros can be whatever the hell you want. Okay, if you're still gonna get benefit from the protein being decent in there, but it can be very low, very low. All right, because you're so fat, you're so muscle sparing from being so fat, and you're very muscle sparing if you're an untrained person as it is, and you've never lifted a weight in your life, so you haven't built any muscle over stock. Okay? But when you get leaner, the protein's got to be there. So let's get real. Okay? If you're counting your calories and you're like, if it was me, so let's just say 2,400 calories of ribeye. Why would I want 2,400 calories of ribeye when I could have like zero fat, some flavored Greek yogurt? I could have a couple cans of sardines. I could have some steak. Okay, I could have leaner protein. Take the same amount of protein as the 2,400 calorie of ribeye is going to be like 200 grams of protein approximately. I can hit that 200 grams of protein with leaner protein sources, and then I can have a chocolate bar and bag of chips and still get in some vegetables. So then you can actually take a and you'll feel like $1,000,000, baby. $1,000,000. Okay, Carnivore Diet 2.0 destroys the Carnivore Diet. Destroys. It's not even comparable for results. Not even comparable. Okay, my goal is to make people in general, especially the people the reason I want to help the Carnivore Diet community. You need to get rid of your talking heads. Okay, we need to remove the government you got, all right? We need to remove these carnivore MDs. Okay, we need to remove these fat Carnivore Diet coaches with their stupid YouTube channels trying to charge you for coaching? Serious? Okay, we need to get rid of that whole thing. The whole thing's broken. It's broke. It's broke. And then the Carnivore Diet community is going to start getting out of Stall City, get results. Get results. Not to mention you're in Stall City, especially when you're in Stall City. Stall City, the crazy amount of animal fat is heart attack city. When you're stalled and you're fat, okay? So now, you're like, man, once you're lean, it's a whole nother ballgame. When you're lean, you're going to have a way less chance, especially when you're right lean, of having a heart attack on anything. Because the calories are so low that the animal fat grams can be only so high anyway. By default, it's limited. Like, how many grams of animal fat could I actually have in an 1,800 calorie a day diet? If I was eating kind of basically whatever I want on top of my protein count. It's going to be minimized, especially if I'm having fat that's coming from like some plant sources in like chocolate and shit. Okay, maybe whatever, but man, you can eat whatever the hell you want. That is the lean gains routine. You whatever the hell you want to make up those calories, and you hit a protein count that's good, that you trust. A protein count that you trust. Which for me, I go by how I feel, how the muscles recover. Okay, I'm doing straight body weight training. All right, that's how I figure it out. The leaner you get, the calories are going to have to come down. They're going to come down, 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 down until you finally get ripped at a certain calorie count, and I bring the protein up. It's as simple as that. You super the first part of this first part of this protocol. It's first part of this lifestyle. Like this, you can do this forever. It's a meal a day diet. It's so natural. Okay, it's so natural. The first part is just get used to the meal a day. So like I said, for the first week here, don't even weigh yourself. Don't even worry about the scale. Okay, just fast all day and eat a meal. Fast all day and eat a meal. And I will tell you guys though, truth be told, prioritizing some good lean protein is going to make you eat less. Okay, because if there's one thing the body actually does need, especially when you're lean, the one thing, it's funny how things change. The most important macro when you are trying to stay lean and hold a good amount of muscle is the protein. Most important doesn't mean most calories from. Even though some guys will run like 50% of the calories from the protein. Okay? I won't be that high. Okay? I might be close. Pretty close, actually, because if I'm running 1,800 calorie a day and I start chasing up 200 grams of protein, that's 800 calorie worth of protein. Okay, so I'm under 50%, but whatever 800 out of a 1,800 ends up being. Okay, so that's not actually haywire to maintain maximum muscle mass at a lean body weight with high adherence. 30 to 50% of your calories from protein. It makes it a joke. You got to count the calories. Okay, start with OMAD. Settle into that. That allows you to restrict calories. Okay, and then you get smarter and better and smarter and better. Smarter and better. Smarter and better. Okay, it's not some dumbed down shit. It's just eat ribeye and tomahawks. Break the bank and lose no weight. Break the bank and lose nothing. Okay, and that's all, the fattier meat's the most expensive. Okay, the lean shit's the cheap shit. How simple is this? Okay, this is how, if anybody, this is how you do it. This is the easiest way to restrict calories. And that's number one when it comes to weight loss. Okay, it's the easiest way to restrict the calories. It's fun. It's fun. Okay, it's fun. Carnivore diet 2.0, baby. Okay, even scam artist Jason Fung, he pushes the fasting aspect, but he isn't talking about nothing about the calorie count. That's why nobody listening to Fung's gonna get ripped. Nobody. You'll have some super that'll just start eating. The problem is he doesn't even push OMAD. He pushes mainly intermittent fasting with some eating window. The only time your eating window would ever have to open up is if you're force feeding on OMAD. And by then you're ripped. Because if you're force feeding on OMAD, that means you're so lean that you literally are trying to get calories in. Because you're so lean. Where Fung tries to put magic to the fasting, where somehow fasting to on a 6-hour eating window somehow this great thing. If you're eating 6 hours, it's a joke. To control the calories through eating frequency, it's OMAD. And then if you get so lean that OMAD, that's where it's I need to eat some calories because my body fat percentage is -5. Then you just add in a meal, fuck's sakes. But fasting all day works so good. Okay, you're light, you're empty, there's no bloat, you never have fear of getting gas. You never have fear of nothing. You can put out, okay, especially if, man, you get those snake juice salts in and you're eating like this when there's still carbohydrate. There's still carbohydrate, man. So not today, man, yesterday I smashed the bike. Like I am not even in great shape yet because like I get in real good shape when summer comes. Usually I'll start biking some more, which that's how I know I get crazy ripped doing this. But when I'm in really good shape, I could log about 1,000 calorie burn in an hour on a bike. Okay, like that's top level. And I'm not even a cyclist. And that's on no food. As long as my salts are good from the night before and from getting some salt in the morning, and as long as the night before, if I got some carbohydrate in. Specifically, if I'm going to go for a PR on that cardio, I'll probably try to do that earlier in the day. Okay, it works perfect. The best results I've ever got. What do you think I did with the original snake diet? Is OMAD, baby. Okay, OMAD. And then I just started adding in those longer fasts, which you could still play around with that if you got your OMAD diet in check. But see where OMAD takes you. Get used to it. At the start, like I said, just eat whatever the fuck you want. Just make sure you fast all day and eat. Okay, and then ideally, you'll do that for like a day, and then ideally you count the calories right away. Settle into a calorie count where you know you're dropping like a stone. Okay, for women, no matter how fat you are, I talked about this a few times, a good starting point for women, very aggressive would be like 1,000. Very aggressive for a really fat woman's going to be like 1,200. But if a woman is doing, she's not going to eat 1,200 on OMAD. That's the whole thing. Okay, that's the whole thing. Don't force feed. That'd be for a woman that actually would eat that much. You're not going to. Especially if there's some decent protein there as well. Okay, if you're a woman and you're fat and you're eating a meal a day at like 6 at night and you're like, holy shit, this is like maybe, you know the calories are low when you literally didn't even count it and you know that it's like, that couldn't have been 700. Okay, that couldn't have been 600. Okay, like when you get good at this, you can eyeball the calories. I always eyeball to the low side. You can eyeball the shit out of it. For example, if I went to the store right now, I could eyeball under 2,000 calories with not going way under that I'm stupid low like at 1,600. I could easily eyeball something that's like, okay, that's got to be between 19 and 17. Easy. Like especially depending on the food choices. If it's packaged meat and the weight's on there, I can eyeball that very good. I'll always just err on the low side. Okay, that's what happens. You end up being over the portion control, dummy. This teaches you portion control. Portion control. It doesn't get easier than this. Okay, anybody, if you took every person that's actually ripped with good muscle mass, the one thing they all have in common is they're either counting the calories, have counted the calories, or they're they're just excellent at intuitively seeing the calorie count. Every person. Okay, and on top of that, almost every person that's got what I would call very decent to very good muscle mass is probably, once they're ripped, doesn't matter to you fat ass, but once they get leaner, they got a calorie count where they're holding body weight, which is fixed. Depends if their lifestyle changes, or they're walking more or running or shit. There's going to be a number that they're hitting that's going to maintain body weight on the day. All right? And the protein count is going to be somewhere reasonable. I don't even like to give out numbers because there's guys, the way they train low volume, they might be as low as 80 grams. Okay? Or they might be a little more of a meathead, or they're leaner and they're like at a gram per pound body weight, or even like I say, like some guys that are trying to stay very lean because that lean protein can definitely help with satiation to keep the calories lower. Okay, some guys will be up there at like 1.5 grams per pound. Even Lyle McDonald's had people at 2 grams per pound that rip body weight, but that would be like bodybuilder juiced up, and even he came down on that number. You don't never have to force it that high. Okay, the calories are king, and as long as the protein's decent, to where you'll feel it. You'll feel it, but most of you're not training with it with bodybuilding style volume then you're going to have the protein some crazy high number. Okay, like crazy high would be like 2 grams per pound of shredded body weight. So for me, that's going to be like, and I've played with like this, that's going to be me like right shredded 160. If I'm 160 pounds with the amount of muscle I got right now, I'm like probably under 8% body fat. That would be me at like 320 grams of protein. I never need to get that much protein in. And that would be like, then that allows me less room for the, chocolate bars and Doritos or some vegetables and shit. Now I'm talking very specific here now. That's like people that are getting ripped. Okay, again, back to the fatties. Okay, you just need to focus on getting that OMAD dialed in and watching that scale and then start counting the calories. Okay, and most of you fat asses, like what I just said, disregard like trying to hit a protein count and shit. No, all you're trying to do is eat as little calories as possible. That's what OMAD's for. OMAD and whatever foods allow you to run the calories through the floor. Okay, some protein, vegetables, obviously. Lean protein and vegetables is going to be a good start. Adding in something for adherence, like a chocolate bar, some dessert. Okay, and you could easily stay under 1,000 a day doing that. Okay, there's going to be women out there that have had bariatric surgery that are literally going to eat like 400 to 600 a day. And those women are going to get laid. Those women that couldn't lose weight after they had bariatric surgery are going to get rail thin to the point where they'll have to eat more meals, maybe breaking the fast earlier in the day or at the same time, but eating like 3 little meals through the night. Good problem to have. Good problem to have. Okay, any woman that's had bariatric surgery, I'm going to tell you right now, if you apply a meal-a-day diet, eating whatever the hell you want, you're going to get rail thin. Rail thin. Rail thin. To the point, because the most food you're going to eat in that sitting is going to be something, assuming your gut's not stretched back out of pile because you're literally force feeding after the bariatric surgery, which usually they don't force feed. They're just eating all day, logging like 4,500, 5,000 count. In the sitting after a bariatric surgery, they're not going to eat more than like, depending on the woman, they ain't going to eat a grand. Rail thin. To the point where you'd have to add in another meal or some shit when you're rail thin. Okay, that's a good problem to have. That could happen even with men that are light eaters. That there could be a man that's like 500 pounds as we speak, and he's not even a real heavy eater in the sitting. He just eats all day. He gets on OMAD, and he's eating like in a sitting maybe 1,200, and he's done. Especially if he wraps up some lean protein in there and maybe throws in some potatoes. Okay? The calories will be through the floor. Through the floor. Through the floor. That's what you need to lose weight. Carnivore Diet 2.0. Where calories matter the most. The most. Calories matter the most. The less the calories, the more weight you're going to lose. Then your protein. Well, it matters a lot once you start getting lean. But the calorie count's still going to dictate the weight you're staying at. The protein combined with the way you train will dictate your body composition. Okay, that'll dictate your body composition. But when you're really fat, you just want to get weight off. So for example, even right now, there's a girl I'm helping. Okay, she actually had bariatric surgery. Gained weight after the surgery because she's still eating all day. Now she's eating a meal a day. And she just wants to get weight off. She's not doing any resistance training. She just eats whatever the hell she wants. And she's eating like 400 to 800 calories a day. All right, now, when she gets rail thin, and she's going to get there. Okay, unless something happens in her life that screws her environment up so bad, like something happens where it's like crazy depression where she just starts eating all day. She's in such a routine now that hopefully, okay, the reason these people get really fat is because of trauma and past. But when they find a meal a day and you can't even eat much of that sitting at all. Down the road, say this person or a person like that gets rail thin, they'd have to eat more than one meal. Because then they're going to have to hit a protein count it'll matter more. So they're going to have to eat more than one meal, but you still just fast and then just chip some food in through the evening. Good problem to have. But right now, it's a good problem to have when you can't eat nothing in the sitting and you're eating a meal a day diet. Same with people that are on Ozempic. Okay, if there is people on Ozempic, which there is, that's why I made that video to cater to the drug users that are trying to use weight loss drugs, which is not, there's negative side effects, but if you're on the weight loss drug and you know something to practice during the weight loss drug use, because you're not going to have any hunger, meal a day diet. Meal a day diet. The leaner, and when I say the leaner you get, like, say if you went from 500 to 400 pounds, you're still fat. 400 pounds to 300 pounds, you're still fat. 300 pounds to 200 pounds, you're still fat. Let's use me for the example. Even 200 pounds to 185, still fat. 185, most people would look at me, they're like, you're not fat. But let's say, to me, it's like I'm not lean enough that I'm really going to have to ramp the protein up yet. The protein really comes into play with me when I get down the low 170s, which is where I'm kissing right now. Okay? And that's where that matters more. And then the calories still got to be down there, or else I'm not going to be losing body fat. Calories dictate the weight loss. Protein dictates how much muscle you're going to hold at those low body weights. Protein will also dictate how much muscle you could build if you're not trying to run the calories as low, as aggressively when you're still a fat. If you're maybe the odd guy, there could be a guy out there, he's 300 pounds, and he's like, Cole, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to eat your exact diet, like my diet. So I'm like, I'm going to eat 1,800 calories a day, let's say. Let's just say that's not exact what I'm doing right this second, but it'll be close. Say he's like, I'm going to eat 1,800 calories a day. I'm going to hit this protein count. Now, the thing this is the thing. If he can't get that in, if he's force-feeding OMAD to get that in, but if that's his goal, this is where, okay, he's 300 pounds. He should just be trying to cut more weight. He's still too fat. But let's say he's just going to say, Cole, I'm going to hold 1,800 calories. That's where calories are still king. Okay? Because he might end up fasting until 5 o'clock and have 2 meals at 900 calorie a pop. Even though he's a 300-pound, but he's counting accurately and losing weight, but he wants to train really hard at 300 pounds all the way down. Okay, this could be an outlier that's like a power lifter, a strongman or some shit that's trying to lose weight. And they still got to hit a pretty big protein count to recover. But they're so fat. I actually had people being like, oh, if you're on a low-calorie, high-protein diet, when you're trying to get lean, if you're on a low-calorie, high-protein diet, where's the energy come from? If there's no fat or carbs, right up your gut, you idiot. How do you think Lyle McDonald cuts people for bodybuilding shows in the past on straight chicken and broccoli? Not to mention the protein is still going to deanimate some of it, and it's going to turn into sugar. Your body still runs on sugar. Okay, it's going to either turn the fat mainly into sugar or turn something into sugar. Even if there's even if you're in ketosis, you're still mainly making sugar. Okay, ketones are just almost like supplementary. They're like a supplement. Okay, so I've covered every spectrum of body weight here. Basically every spectrum of both male and female. Okay, most of you women, if you're starting to get leaner, like I say, you'll go by feel on the protein. The protein will be dictated by the way you train. But most women, okay, like this is how you're going to hold that diet that you've been scared of for years. It's like, how can I hold 1,000 or 1,200 a day? Like, you're 5 foot tall. That's the diet you need to hold to stay down there. It's going to be like something sub 1,200 for a lot of you short women. Okay, it's going to be that low, especially if there's not hardly any cardio. Especially if there's no cardio. Now, if you're adding in 20 minutes of cardio a day, then it changes. Okay, then it changes. But you want to be able to get down there without having to really rely on a pile of cardio. You don't have to rely on more then, ideally, you'd walk, what's the old number? Like, 10,000 a day steps? Okay, that's a good long walk. There's no doubt about it. Okay, but you don't have to force a crazy amount of cardio to stay lean. Okay, you want to get to a point where your diet's so on point that you could stay lean with almost no activity at all. And then if the cardio comes into your life, you actually have to eat a little bit more. Ideally, you do not want to have to rely on a bunch of cardio to get what I would call to a good lean body weight. All right? And to do that, you're talking women that are holding, like, a lot of these skinny women you see, if they're not even doing much cardio, they're like 1,000 a day. 1,000, 1,200. Okay, that's the kind of numbers that some of these natural female bodybuilders are getting on stage at. 1,200, 13, and that's with some cardio. That's with like 40 minutes of cardio. Okay, like if they dropped it down to $1,000, and the macros a lot of times the macros could be way looser. Okay, a lot of times they're if they could throw a chocolate bar in there once in a while and fit that into the calorie count, they'd feel so good. But I'm telling you, when it comes to a woman and your period, you're going to have the best chance to get, like, most women have no business trying to get down to 10. Like, there's women that are 12% body fat, sure. But, like, if you're 20% body fat as a woman, you're, like, top tier lean. Okay, but a meal a day definitely has an effect on the hormones. It's just the feel of having a full meal. Okay, certain things happen when you actually have a full meal. Compared to, like, say if you're doing 1,200 calorie, some bodybuilding coach has you on 3 meals a day. It's like, that could be pulled off at 400 a meal, but some of them will have them on 6 meals a day at 1,200 cal. 200 calorie a meal? That's what makes you feel like you're freaking starving to death. If you fasted all day and just ate man, you can even run the calories lower. If you fasted all day, all of a sudden the coach that has you on 1,200 cal could have had you on like 900 because you would have felt good. Or 1,000. Okay, OMAD's powerful especially when you're trying to get ripped. It's so powerful for restricting calories. But sadly, the carnivore MDs and Fung, they just walk around that point. Okay, because there's a lot of carnivore people fasting their balls off because their calories are so high they can't lose weight on a meal-a-day diet even. Because they're eating so much fat. Like, holy man. Like, are you here to lose weight or are you here to be part of a diet religion, you fat Carnivore 2.0, baby. Carnivore diet 2.0. Anybody that's doing a carnivore diet right now, listen to these carnivore MDs, if they get a whiff of this video and actually watch it start to finish, man, the smart money is going to start losing weight and they're going to be posting the comments on those other people's shit. They'll be like, Carnivore Diet 2.0 makes the carnivore diet look like a joke. Yeah, I own, man, the carnivore diet's mine. Okay, I Ray Kroc their ass. It's mine. It's mine. All right. If you want coaching from me, Cole Robinson on Facebook, message me there. Okay, and obviously when I'm coaching now, I'm going to be coaching this. Hardcore calories, macros, talking about your training, everything. Okay, I want to get some people shredded. Put up some before and afters up on my Instagram, baby. Okay, so Cole Robinson on Facebook and Snake Diet Wizard on Instagram. Okay, if you want coaching, I have everybody take accountability pictures. All right, till next time. If you want to support me, Snake Juice Electrolytes. For when you're pulling those calories through the floor, you need to get those electrolytes in. Till next time. Meal a day, counting calories gets you shredded for summer.